There is a universal truth that everybody would agree with if they really thought into it. In this video, we'll share the path to living it. Okay, let's start right off with jumping into the beginning, the human experience. From birth, when you're young, think back to when you were a kid and how you were amazed by everything. You took in everything that came in to your senses and you learned and you were just absorbing all of what the new environment, the new world had to offer you. That is a wonderful place to be. And you can think about that, your environment, who the people are that are around you in those formative years, say 0 to 7, are very important. And you count on them for everything. So your trust is, you put all your trust in those people that are around you. So that is it's a very innocent state to be, and it's something that we've all gone through, so we can all relate to that. Well, what's next is the world intercedes. As you get older, you go to school, you're homeschooled, daycare, whatever it is, your environment starts to take a larger and larger role in your life, and you experience disappointment, you experience people deceiving you, you see horrible things, you see bad things, you see people doing, there's the good and the bad that you see. But the point is the world is interceding. And the world is a place full of people like all of us who are broken people. We're all searching for something. And like where I think it's a song or something, searching for love in all the wrong places. We're searching for that. And typically we're going to go wherever culture tells us to go. Culture, whatever popular culture of the time says this is how you find love, this is how you find yourself. Here in the West, our culture is all about me, and I've got to, be the best me I can be and achieve my full potential and self-care and all of this stuff. So it's focused on me, 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 me. So you think about it, that is part of what the world is doing. And that innocence that you had as a kid, guess what? It starts to dissipate. You start to become skeptical. You start to question things. You start to be less trusting, and all for good reason, mind you, because you've experienced things that have led you to that realization. So as you're going through this whole process, you get to a point, and it's different for everybody. I don't know where you are on this spectrum, but you get to the point of whether you get to the point of whether you have to decide whether you want to just play the game or demand something more. I can think about in my life going through living in the world and all those things I just expressed. And I got to a point in my life where I'm like, wait a minute. I've been playing the game, doing what the game says I should be doing, and I'm not finding the happiness. I'm not finding the joy. I'm not finding the fulfillment that I thought I was on track to achieve. So it was at that point for me that I had to decide, okay, do I want to keep playing the game where I'm getting paid well? So from the outside, everything looks like, oh yeah, boy, you're doing great. You're quote unquote successful. Or do I want to demand something more? And for me, and I don't recommend this to you, I kind of self-sabotaged my career because I didn't have the courage to just walk away. So I did it in a way that, I knew I was going to be escorted out of that world, but I wanted to do it in a way that maybe had some kind of impact. But I could have done it better, is my point. So if you're in that space where you're at the point in your life, and if you haven't gotten there, you will. Or maybe you're already there and you're playing the game and you're like, oh my gosh, this can't be all there is to life. Okay. That you can always choose to demand something more. So that's the second part of this. You either play the game or you demand something more. And if you demand something more, the next step to take is get back to that child heart. Learn everything that you've learned, take all the experiences and just wipe them clean. And this may be just an exercise that you do, a 90-minute jam that you do. Sheet of paper, clear your mind, and just say, okay, I'm going to get back to that child heart. What is it that I dream of? What is it that is in my heart? What is it that really inspires me? What is it that gets me going? If I didn't, what would I be doing that I wouldn't even have to be paid for? If I had $10 million tomorrow, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? These are all little techniques on how you can get back to that childlike heart. And then once you've made that commitment, then the fifth step is to link up with others who know the truth. And I'm going to unveil the truth to you here in a second, but you have to link up with others. This is so important. You have to be, I call it, in community with other people who are on that same road that you're on. Because remember, it's the same way when you were a child and you had that environment around you, you absorbing anything. Well, you're going to get back to that. And you want to absorb everything that's around you in a trusting way. So, of course, you want people around you who are in that same mode, who know the same truth that you do. Because as you're being reformed, okay, and I like to say transformed, that's what you need to do. Your environment is so important. In my life, it is everything to have the right environment, the right people around me, the simplicity in my home, the peace, the silence and solitude, all these kinds of things, all these practices that allow me to live a life of joy overflowing, which is where you want to get to. So the secret to all of this is we were all created to be fully loved and fully known, or fully known and fully loved. So think about that. If you are fully known, so somebody knows you, every little thing about you, stuff you haven't shared with anybody, but they know you fully, everything about you, and they still fully love you. Fully known and fully loved. And I believe everyone walking on this earth has that same desire in their heart to be fully known and fully loved. So this is the recipe for getting there. First of all, recognize how you were as a child. Number two, recognize that the world intercedes and it deceives you. The world distracts you, deceives you. It can callous you, turn your heart hard. Number three, you have to come to a point where you either decide, I'm just going to keep playing in the world. I can either be the victim or I can be the victor. And I can, all these won't even go there, but you have to make that decision. Everybody has a point in their life where they have to make that decision. Everybody, I think, has a point in their life where they're playing the game and they have this realization, wow, there's got to be something more. This is all there is to life. Whew. It's kind of depressing. So that's the third step. The fourth step is then to get back to that childlike heart. And that's an internal thing that you have to do. You've got to commit to it. You've got to put in the work. And it may come to you in an instant, but it is this process of unlearning everything that you've learned. And then the fifth step is link up with others who know the truth. And the truth is that you were created to be fully known and fully loved. And there's so much more beyond that. But this is a great start. So subscribe with the notification bell to receive regular updates. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button to see more like this. Comment down below. This can be with questions or answers to a question you ask. And we will see you the next time on this journey from isolation to community, where the next step beyond is freedom.